Episode 18 of To Your Tourney was absolutely insane. I don't even know where to start. I really honestly do not even know where to start with this episode. I mean, we kind of get the aftermath, which I kind of assumed what was going to be the case with Fushi is that he's pretty much reverted back to the original orb. The original thing that the Beholder had dropped onto this planet, that was what he became. So it only took Echo finally coming in and going, hey guys, it's right here. Like, she's the only one that can pretty much sense him and feel where he's actually at, whereas everybody else is pretty much needs some sort of form that they can go based on being Fushi. I don't know. It's like one of those things where I predicted that. That's where the state he was going to be in. I wasn't really predicting this was going to be the point where we finally got Bon. We were all waiting for this moment. Bon was going to be the secret to unlocking Fushi's ability to see everything. But I really wasn't expecting it now. But yeah, the emotion around March, everything, just this entire episode, and then all of the twists. I really am surprised that at this point, this writer still is going to be throwing in so many twists that have got my mind running in a million directions. But let's start from the beginning. Let's start from the beginning so I can really hit each of these points. Because like I said, my mind's going a million directions right now. But yeah, opening up the episode, March coming in there, trying to stop Kahaku, and Kahaku freaking out. The horse coming in and bucking Kahaku. Thankfully, Kahaku at least redeeming himself somewhat, finally, just chopping it off. Still don't like Kahaku. At this point, I'm still not a fan of Kahaku, and at least now Kahaku doesn't have power. At least that I can save face for that point. I'm not really sure what they're going to do with Kahaku from this point on. He seems obviously like he's apologetic. He knows he's screwed up. But again, I'd argue that he's apologizing for a long time now, and this is just another one of his big mistakes. I don't know what they're going to do at this point. Obviously, March left to get somebody to come help him, and he just disappeared. So I don't know if he's going to go off and just fight on his own, or, again, if they're going to have some way of having Kahaku redeem himself at this point, which I don't think is going to happen. But yeah, March was broken. Like, she finally found Fushi. She finally found Fuchan, and then he just keeps wandering off. She keeps trying to find him, and he keeps wandering off. One of my big question marks I had around March was really where her maturity was going to be, because I thought it was like thousands of years, but apparently she's only been gone for 200 years. As Bond says, the 200-year-old sacrifice, or the sacrifice from 200 years ago. So it implies that March has been a ghost, basically, or spirit for 200 years. And I guess one of the theories was going out there was that she has the maturity of herself when she died, but she might have the knowledge of what has transpired since then. And it doesn't necessarily mean that she's going to be able to understand things because she has been trapped as a child for this entire time, which I think that's the direction they're going, because she understands things. She doesn't know how to word it. Like, when she talks about Kahaku, she kind of just refers to what he is rather than what his name is. And the way that she describes things is very childlike. So it makes me believe that she's not acknowledging what's happened, but she's not mature enough to understand it fully. And so when she does describe what's going on with Fushi, she's like, he keeps wandering off. She's still hinting at this idea that he keeps wandering off. And I finally found him, and then he wandered off again. But yeah, the horse kind of nudges her and makes her wake up. I'm Fuchan's mommy. I need to fix this situation. I'm going to fix it. Let me go get help. And so she goes out to find a doctor, and apparently also Bon's trying to figure out what's going on because he senses that Fushi's gone. But yeah, that was the meeting where she finally runs into Bon, and I don't know, I almost felt like March is going to come up there and just slug him, like just jump off the back of the horse and slug Bon. Because again, the assumption is that March knows, just like everybody else that's a ghost following Fushi, that Bon's been technically using him and knows he can see them, but doesn't tell Fushi. But no, it's just to bring him over there to help. And that's when, yes, this scene was probably where 50% of what I want to talk about this episode was when Bon and March first come in there and they start yelling. Like, Bon is like furious. Like, this is it. We're done. Everything's over. Like, is this what you wanted, Man in Black? The Mr. Black. Is this what you wanted? Which I call him Beholder. Sounds better. Beholder, this is what you wanted? The town's destroyed. This kingdom's done. Fushi's dead. Is this what you really wanted? Was this your big plan? And this is what I really love about this writing. The Beholder comes out and says, "Wait, did something bad happen?" Like, the Beholder doesn't care. Like, this whole kingdom can go away, and the Beholder doesn't care. Again, he has different mindset as to what's valuable. So when the Beholder comes out and Bond's yelling about it, we've lost everything. The Beholder's like, we haven't lost anything. What are you talking about? For all the Beholder cares about, this entire village, this entire kingdom is fuel for Fushi, is people and forms that Fushi will now have. This is assets. And so when they're frustrated, he doesn't understand it. But they still yell at him. Like, well, March at least clarifies to him, yes, this is bad. Losing a life, no matter what. Having a life taken away, no matter what it is, it's bad. And so he says, we'll take it back. So I guess in return, it's like Beholder pointing out to them that I don't really care what's happening here. This doesn't matter to me. At the same time, he is acknowledging, well, you can do something, which is still twisted in its own right. You know what the Beholder's saying here? The Beholder's telling Bond, you know how to fix it. And it's terrible too at the same time, because that's the big gut punch for everybody. We know what's going to come up. He's telling Bond, well, just end your life. You can make him recover right now. You know how this was. Bond knows how this system works. End it. And then you will give Fushi back his form, and then he can fix everything. And that's what it kind of ultimately turns into, and that's what Bond realizes after you have Echo come in and show them where the orb is, and she walks away. Bond realizes right here that he is the secret to fixing everything right now, because of his innate power to see the spirits. And he knows the only reason that Fushi has lost all of his forms right now is because he lost the form which they take. The way they're kind of describing right now is that whenever these things attack Fushi, he loses the shape, sound, and smell of these things because he always remembers them. They're always still a fragment. He still remembers their memories. He still remembers what they say. He just can't put them into form. He can't piece it all together into something that he recognizes. So what Bond is coming to a conclusion here is that the way to fix that is that I give him the ability to see them, because that's what Bond can do. And so the assumption is that if Fushi takes his form, he will then be able to see all of them, and then he will be able to put all the pieces together. He'll be able to put those memories in with the shape of their spirit, and that's when he decides, sends March away, and takes his own life. Which, yes, heartbreaking. But again, this is one of those moments where it's sad. I know it's coming, but at the same time, with everything they've kind of laid out so far, it doesn't hurt as much. I think we're at the point now with the storyline with so much unlocked with what Tasty Peach and Bond has brought to the table is the fact that these people, for the most part, still stay at Fushi's side. And they could still technically come back with husks. So even if it is heartbreaking that Tasty Peach is finally gone, he did technically introduce the idea that he will be able to live on. So cut the next episode, Fushi can create a husk and Tasty Peach is back. So it's a give and take here, because we've gotten rid of ever really minding that these characters die anymore, because there's a fix for them all. We have established the immortality aspect to the storyline now. So even when Echo is going up to the ceiling and I'm going, I know what she's doing, and sure enough, she's infected, it still hurts because I know what she's doing. She herself is a character, what she is doing. But at the same time, I know she shouldn't be going anywhere. And that, again, that's that crappy thing, but also a good thing, because I'm not as heartbroken anymore. But no. Yeah, when Echo went by, I was like, I really kind of assumed that she would know that he's an orb. But when she went up to the roof, when she was walking up the stairs, I'm like, she was holding her arm, and I knew it wasn't just going to be like she got shot in the arm. I was assuming it was probably that she actually got infected. But that opens another can of worms, but we'll get into that in a minute. But yes, once Bond is gone, that gives Fushi the ability to see all the spirits. It seemingly so far is showing that he's getting a clear picture of everybody, but not quite showing it yet. But yes, he does end up waking up as Bond, next to Bond, and we'll see where that goes. When Eiko goes to jump, it grabs a ledge. The knocker in her arm grabs a ledge, and then it turns into the face of Fushi, which pretty much indicates that this knocker that's in Eiko's arm is the one that got cut out of Kahaku. So another strike on Kahaku, because I hate Kahaku so much. Now, him getting rid of the knocker, not killing it, has led it to infect Echo. And so now Echo has to be the host for this thing, which, again, we're still implying this thing is evil. Again, it goes back to the last episode and the theory and the idea that the thing inside of Kahaku may possibly be living out what exactly it said its intentions was. It does not like pain. It wants to save people from pain. If Fushi is in pain, it was trying to save Fushi by relieving him of his pain. It's that gray area. It's bad, but it's not evil, I guess. But no, this just means that, yeah, it's now an Echo. Unless we start exploring the territory of the idea that the knockers can transfer this idea of these different forms to other knockers. Because again, somebody reminded me a while back, was like, oh yeah, by the way, that one has Perona's form. I'm like, I completely forgot about that. That's why it kind of boggles my mind that we now see Perona now in this episode. It's like, oh yeah, that's still gone, isn't it? So I'm wondering if that means that, because I kind of think that they still have more to do with Eiko. I don't think this is time for Eiko to die. I think there's still more they're wanting to tell with the pot speakers. What are they called? I forget what they're called. Her family and what they're able to do with the knockers. I think there's still something there to be told. So I don't think it's her time. I just don't know what they're going to do with the knocker unless maybe in the next episode they just cut it out. But we'll see. But again, I'm kind of happy that we didn't have both Bon and Echo die in one episode. It's just, that's too much for my heart to handle. I was already kind of dreading her walking up the stairs. I'm like, I know what she's doing. I don't want that. Please no. Please no. But yeah, super emotional episode though. Just seeing March break down, her stepping up, the horse kicking butt. There's like a whole episode of the horse kicking butt. The sacrifices in the end was super emotional. Seeing briefly this moment where Bon is seeing his people once again. They're all praising him was super emotional. Just a really, really excellent episode. And I really do hope that these next 2 episodes, because we only have 2 episodes left, will really wrap things up really well. I really hope for a really great ending to this season. But we'll see. That's my thoughts on episode 18 of To Your Eternity. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, you did. Make sure that like button down below. Comment. Let me know what you thought of the episode. Additionally, if you're new to the channel, make sure that subscribe button so you get all my content. I do news, reviews, first impressions, top list. If it's anime, it's pretty much here. Additionally, if you want to support the channel more, we have a Patreon link, tips link, super thanks, membership button down below. Greatly appreciate it. Supports the channel, and y'all take care.